Introduction to the Chronicle History of King Lear, the original of Shakespeare's King Lear, edited by Sidney Lee, Lit. D. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please contact LibriVox.org. Introduction. First production of the piece in 1594. The British legend, of which King Lear is the hero, was first turned to purposes of drama in the spring of 1594. On 6th April of that year, and again 2 days later, Philip Henslowe, the theatrical manager, notes in his diary that a piece which he calls King Lear was acted at the Rose Theatre in London, quote, by the Queen's men and my Lord of Sussex together. End quote. Two distinguished companies of the day were acting in combination, the one company being under the patronage of Queen Elizabeth herself, and the other under the patronage of one of the Queen's leading courtiers, the Earl of Sussex. From the first performance Henslowe derived the fairly substantial sum of 38 shillings, and from the second that of 26 shillings. Footnote: Henslowe's Diary, ed. Greg, 1904, Part 1, page 17. Henslowe, by an obvious slip of the pen, gives the year of the first entry, 1593, instead of 1594. It is probable that the piece was written originally for the Queen's company, and was first performed by that company before its temporary junction with the Earl of Sussex's men. End of footnote. In succeeding entries on the same page of his diary, Henslowe mentions the production, all in the following June, of 3 plays whose titles also strike a Shakespearean note, viz. Andronicus, Hamlet, and The Taming of a Shrew. Andronicus is doubtless the sanguinary tragedy which was first published in 1594, and is included in all editions of Shakespeare's works. Hamlet and The Taming of a Shrew are early dramatic versions of popular stories on which Shakespeare brought his mighty faculty to bear at a subsequent date. Henslowe's play of Hamlet is not extant. The play of The Taming of a Shrew was, like Titus Andronicus, printed and published in 1594, the year of its production by Henslowe. The same significance which belongs to Henslowe's contemporary venture of The Taming of a Shrew attaches to his King Lear. Henslowe's King Lear laid the foundation on which Shakespeare built a dozen years later the stupendous tragedy which is known by the same title. The play of 1594 was the clay out of which Shakespeare fashioned the most poignant of all his triumphs in tragic art. Publishing licence of 1594. Some mystery envelops the history of the publication of the pre-Shakespearean drama of King Lear. On May 14, 1594, a month after Henslowe produced the piece at the Rose Theatre, Edward White, a London stationer and bookseller, obtained a licence from the Stationers' Company to publish, quote, a book entitled The Most Famous Chronicle History of Lear, King of England and his 3 daughters. End quote. Footnote: Arbour, Stationers' Register, 2, 649. End footnote. There is no reason to doubt that the play to which Henslowe's diary refers was the book which Edward White received this licence to publish. But no publication of King Lear corresponding with the date of the licence of May 14, 1594, has come to light. There is a remote chance that the book was published in a small edition, every copy of which has disappeared. We know that the play of Titus Andronicus, which Henslowe produced in the same year, was, after due entry in the Stationers' Register, published by Edward White, the licensee of King Lear, in partnership with another stationer, during the eventful year 1594. All original copies of this first edition of Titus vanished from sight until 1905, when a single exemplar was discovered in Sweden. The elusive problem of Edward White's dealings with King Lear may ultimately be solved by a revelation of like kind. At present there is no tangible proof that his licence of May 14, 1594, materialized in the shape of a book. Footnote: It is worth noting that on the same day that White received his licence for King Lear, he obtained
Sample complete. Ready to continue?